Hey there. Let me slap you with a scenario. You've been DMing for a bit of time, running through your first campaign with your friends for a handful of sessions. But something's missing. You haven't yet braved the task of creating a dungeon. After a restless night, tossing and turning with nightmares of god-awful dungeon designs and stupid bosses, you get up and decide to finally face this beast. And then after about 2 hours of blank graph paper, you Google a random dungeon generator. Perfect. Now, to fill it with various traps and monsters. Obviously, you want to make it somewhat challenging, and your heroes just hit level 5, so they should be able to go up against a lot more than they used to. So you brainstorm a bit longer, fill your dungeon, and add in a handful of traps for flavor, and in no time, you're done. Great job. You close your books and Chrome tabs triumphantly, lean back, and yawn. You made a dungeon. Wait. Didn't you forget the most important ingredient of all? The treasure at the end? Well, I guess that's important too, but I'm talking about the boss. A good dungeon friggin' needs a good boss. And like you said to yourself last time, you want a good challenge for your players. So you scroll through Reddit for a bit, but don't find a whole lot worth mentioning. And nothing thematically appropriate has really presented itself until this very moment, where I break into your house, explain your problems to you, and then present my super genius solution. You see, there's a monster one might call the flagship monster of D&D. No, not a dragon, silly. No, not a black pudding, silly. No, not a lich, silly. Okay, shut up. I'm talking about the Beholders. Menacing, fun, and deadly. But there's one pesky problem. It's way too challenging for a lower level party. And so, I offer to you a solution. Long ago, during the last war, powerful people decided to create living beings to serve as their vessels of destruction. These beings later were known as Warforged. Well, as it turns out, sentient war biorobots kinda lose their main motivation to live once the war they were made for ends. So a lot of these leftover Warforged decided they needed a new purpose. They forged their own paths, a lot becoming adventurers. Some, however, haven't been so lucky. Some have fallen victim to mad artificers that are jealous of magic users' ability to summon Beholderkin. And so, I present to you the Warholder. Moving on. To make this boss, I modified the stat block of a Warforged Juggernaut enemy from a homebrew I found. And so, the Warholder is a large construct, neutral evil. They have an armor class of 21, thanks to their full plate armor and shield made of composite plating. They have 7d12 plus 50, or 95 average hit points, and they have a walking speed of 30 feet. They have 20 strength, a plus 5 bonus, 11 dexterity, no bonus, 18 constitution, a plus 4 bonus, 12 intelligence, a plus 1 bonus, 14 wisdom, a plus 2 bonus, and 6 charisma, no bonus. The Warholder is completely immune to being frightened, charmed, and poisoned. They have a passive perception of 16 and speak the common language. They have a challenge rating of 9, making them worth 5,500 experience each. Alright, now here we get into the fun stuff. The Warholder features a modification in its head, resulting in a slot above its eyes which perfectly houses the eye of a beholder. This is one of a set of up to 4 in a rotating mechanism which spins clockwise each time the Warholder casts the spell of the active eye. Following rotation, the new visible eye becomes the active eye. Which eyes are in the mechanism or at the DM's discretion. Once per turn, the Warholder can cast the eye's spell. However, the charge is then consumed, and the mechanism is then forced to rotate to the next eye in its set pattern. Completing a rotation gives an eye enough time to regain its charge. Attacks can be made against the third eye with disadvantage, preventing the Warholder from using that eye's spell on a successful hit. The Warholder must then spend an action to manually rotate the mechanism. Now, for the actions of our machination. The Warholder has multi-attack. 2 attacks can be made per turn. Attached to one arm of the Warholder is a Great Hammer, slightly larger than your average bludgeoning tool, a melee weapon attack with a plus 8 to hit and a 5-foot reach, one target. On hit, the Great Hammer deals 2d8 plus 5, or 16 average bludgeoning damage. Attached to the other arm of our boss is a kite shield that can be used to bash. Bash is a melee weapon attack with a +5 to attack and a 5-foot range, one target. On hit, the bash deals 1d10 +5 or 8 average bludgeoning damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 16 strength save or be knocked prone. On a successful save, the target is simply pushed up to 10 feet away. If there are obstacles blocking the target from moving, they'll instead be restrained until either the Warholder releases their push or a DC 14 dexterity or strength escape save is made. And, as previously mentioned, the Warholder has their third eye attack. All of the spells use the same spell attack workspace as the Beholder's eyes do in the official manual. What's cool about the Warholder is not only its magical head eyes, but also the fact that the magic from the eyes radiates inside of its skull so strongly that the dude's effectively lost his mind and convinced himself that he is, for all accounts and purposes, a Beholder himself. And so, when you send your party up against this bad boy, remember to place him at the end of a needlessly complicated cave system or dungeon, and remember to give him a couple henchmen to boss around. I use Sahujin, since the aquatic creatures just felt appropriate, but I'm sure any minion will do. So, there you go. Throw this guy at your players and tell me how it went. Whoa, 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 you didn't think I'd let you get away that easily, did you? Alright. Cool, you're still here. So, this is me, out of character. I just wanted to say thank you so much for 50 subs. It's kind of like the coolest thing ever. I'm not doing a whole lot that I think is super special, but I'm glad that it's special enough that people like it and that people want to see it and contribute to it by subscribing and liking and commenting and all that stuff. And as a thanks, I'm opening a Discord server. The link will be in the description below, along with all my other socials. And yeah, I mean, let's hang out. Let's get to know each other. This is a really fun passion project of mine, and I'm glad people are along for the ride. So cool. Yeah, come check it out.